Oh, hey, it's been a while. Sorry, I've been a little busy as of late. A few weeks ago I was sick. That wasn't very fun. Kind of a stomach bug. Don't recommend. And then, cool thing was we did go to a CreepyCon, so I missed a week of This Week in Geek because of that. But on the upside, I picked up this pretty sweet comic book, so that's a plus. But you're not really here for that. So let's just dive back into it. This is This Week in Geek. I'm Mike. Let's go. Alright, so this is This Week in Eek, my weekly series where I put a little eek in your week by recapping some of the top stories in Halloween and horror news from the last week. Alright, I've been gone for a few weeks. There were a few stories that had some longevity to them, so I hope you'll bear with me here because I'm going to share a few stories that aren't exactly from the last week, but I wanted to make sure you didn't miss them. So first off, Lemax, the popular holiday village makers, have unveiled their 2022 Spooky Town collection. So while many of the over 50 pieces unveiled for this year are last year's Michaels exclusives, there are still a few pieces for Spooky Town collectors to be excited about. I was particularly fond of the Count's Bat Bonanza. It's like a theme park attraction themed to Dracula himself, and it features giant purple bat ride vehicles flying around Dracula's castle with the Count calling on guests to come ride the attraction. And this is just one of the many new pieces unveiled for 2022. So be sure to check out all the highlights from this year over on allhallowsgeek.com. And last week, you may or may not have heard that Goosebumps is coming back to television screens for the first time since the 90s. The new series is being developed for Disney Plus, and unlike the original series, which was an anthology of stories inspired by R.L. Stine's Goosebumps books, the show will follow a similar storyline to the 2015 Goosebumps movie and its 2018 sequel, and follow a group of teens who unleash supernatural forces on their town and have to work together to save it. And the similarities to the films might not be a coincidence because Goosebumps movie director Rob Letterman is directing the show's first episode. He's also executive producing and writing for the series. So while there's no details yet on when this is going into production or when it'll be released, it's always a good thing when we get more gateway horror for the kids. Alright, enough about the past, let's get to the present. This week was a big week for fans of Stranger Things. Most notably, we got a release date for Season 4, along with some details around the future of the Netflix series. But before we get to that, Netflix this week debuted its iconic and Stranger Things fan art wall collection. The new collection features 7 pieces inspired by the Netflix series from artists like Andrew Swineson, Blake Stevenson, and Ella Gordon artist Chogrin. So each new piece is available now on 18 by 24 or 30 by 40 framed or unframed museum-grade canvases that range in price from $89.99 to $184.99, with the complete collection available now at netflix.shop. Alright, now for this week's big story. Stranger Things creators Matt and Ross Duffer took to social media this week with an open letter to fans of the Netflix series outlining their plans for Stranger Things Season 4 and the future of the show. First, we learned that Stranger Things 4 will be a 2-part season, with Volume 1 debuting on May 27th and Volume 2 debuting on July 1st. The 2-part season is a result of a much longer runtime, with the brothers sharing that Season 4 is nearly twice the length of any other season in the series. But the news from the brothers was bittersweet, as it was announced that Season 4 was the beginning of the end. That's right, Season 4 will be the penultimate season, with Season 5 being the show's last. But it doesn't sound like this is goodbye to the Stranger Things universe, just goodbye to Eleven and our friends in Hawkins. The Duffers ended their letter by saying, quote, "There are still many more exciting stories to tell within the world of Stranger Things, new mysteries, new adventures, new unexpected heroes." Over the course of the Netflix series, Stranger Things has done an incredible job at building upon the lore and injecting new color into the universe via comic books, novels, and scripted podcasts. So I have no doubt there are plenty more stories to tell in this world, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the Duffers have to offer. Alright, and while all eyes were on Stranger Things 4 this week, Funko was taking it back to Season 1 with the unveiling of the next piece in its Stranger Things Build-A-Scene line. The third figure in the 4-piece series will be Will Byers in the Upside Down. The new figure features Will as he appeared in Season 1 of the Netflix original series in the upside-down version of the buyers' living room. As a build-a-scene figure, Will can be displayed on his own or connected to the other figures in the series to bring the buyer's house and the upside down together in a single display. Like the previously released and revealed figures 11 and the Demogorgon, Will be an Amazon exclusive and is currently available for pre-order. The Funko Stranger Things Build-A-Scene Will Byers figure will be released on May 20th. And while we're on the subject of Netflix, this week the streaming service announced it is working with 2K and Take-Two Interactive to produce a live-action film adaptation of the renowned video game franchise, BioShock. Set across multiple dystopian and visionary landscapes gone wrong, the series blends sci-fi and horror to pose unique, existential, and societal questions that reshaped how game stories could be told. This is the latest in a number of attempts to take BioShock from your game console to the big screen. Past efforts at Universal included adaptations of the game from directors Gore Verbinski and Juan Carlos Fresnadillo, but both projects were ultimately scrapped due to budget concerns. So nobody's been announced as being tied to the project yet, so it's always possible one of these directors could come back. But in the meantime, it's just exciting to see that this game franchise, which I personally am a huge fan of, might finally get a film. And it may only be February, but that isn't stopping Spirit Halloween from introducing new animatronics for 2022. The Halloween retailer recently introduced Jerry, no really his name is just Jerry, who is a candy-stealing jerk who nearly severed his arm in an axe mishap, who now roams the woods looking for someone to finish the job or at least share their Halloween treats with him. This new for 2022 Undead Halloween animatronic features red LED light-up eyes and an upper body that rocks left and right. Jerry grunts and groans as his mostly severed arm dangles from his body. The new animatronic is available for purchase now exclusively through SpiritHalloween.com. And finally, this week is Funko Fair, the virtual product announcement celebration from collectible toy maker Funko. Over the last week, Funko has announced dozens of new products, but there are a few standout items that All Hallows Geek viewers might be interested in. During the event, Funko has unveiled new Funko soda figures inspired by the 1992 Francis Ford Coppola film Bram Stoker's Dracula and the classic television sitcom The Addams Family. Addams Family patriarch Gomez Addams joins the Funko soda line in an edition size of 12,500. The new figure is in a black and white color palette and features Gomez in his signature pinstripe suit. A limited chase variant will also be available and features Gomez in a sepia tone holding the Addams' hand-servant Thing. For Bram Stoker's Dracula, Dracula joins the Funko soda line sporting his red armor. Also limited to an edition size of 12,500, a limited chase variant of the figure will feature Dracula in full armor with his mask on in a slightly different color scheme. Both figures are available for pre-order now, with Gomez set to be released in May and Dracula set to be released in June. And also announced during Funko Fair is a new game inspired by Disney's 1949 animated classic, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. The new game, called The Return of the Headless Horseman, brings to life the ghost story from the film and has 2 to 4 players team up and work together to help Ichabod get to the covered bridge before the Headless Horseman heads him off. The game is set to be released sometime in the spring and will have an MSRP of $19.99. For more information on the game, where to buy it once it's available, visit funkogames.com. That's it for this week. As always, if you've enjoyed this week's video, give it a like, leave me a comment, or better yet, subscribe to make sure you always get your weekly dose of Geek. For more information on any of this week's top stories, you'll find links to the full coverage over on allhallowsgeek.com down in the description below. Until next time, keep it creepy.